I'm very excited to bring to you today the first installment of a series of speeches, depending on how well this is perceived, which I call story time. This particular installment is called I Like Cats. You'll find out why later. Now, this story involves espionage. It involves somewhat high-speed chase. It involves undercover police officers. And it's all completely true. So buckle in. All right. It all started 5 years ago. I was in the market for a new PlayStation 4 video game console. Being the thrifty person that I am, I didn't want to pay full price for one, so I was perusing Kijiji for a used one. I found someone willing to sell his. He was asking $350, which was a pretty good deal at the time. And so I messaged him to meet up with him, and he wanted to meet up with me. He wanted to meet at St. Vital Mall at the movie theater entrance. And he kept reiterating over and over that, okay, yeah, he was going to meet me, he was going to sell me the console, and then he was going to go to a movie. He kept saying that over and over. It was I wasn't sure why, but I was like, whatever, okay, yeah, fine, sounds good. So I met with him. I had planned to plug in the console while I was there just to make sure it turned on and worked and all that. But at the time, the box was all taped up. It was inconvenient. He seemed legitimate enough at the time, so I said whatever. I gave him money and I went back to my car. This was a mistake. Something was still felt off, so I got to my car and I cut open the box. And lo and behold, as suspected, sure enough, inside the box was 2 phone books instead of a PlayStation 4. Fuck, I knew it. Like, why would I do that? Why would I be so dumb? And I thought, okay, why would he keep saying that about going to the movie theater after? If I was him, and if I was trying to screw someone over, I would say, yeah, I'm going to a movie after, in hopes that when they realize that it's not a PlayStation 4, they'd be just hanging around the movie theater. Meanwhile, I've already made my escape out the back door, right? So, you know, at St. Vital Mall, there's the movie theater, and then there's the food court behind it. So I thought, you know what, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be going straight through that food court, through those doors. So I go after this guy. I'm running through the theater, heads on swivel. I'm going through the food court. I'm looking for this guy. Get to the doors, bust out, boom, look. No sign of him. Shit, okay. All the way back to my car, through the food court, through the theater, get in my car, kind of, okay, there's probably 30 exits out of this mall, okay? I'm going to keep doing laps around this mall until I see this guy leaving. If it takes an hour, I'm getting my money back, right? So I go around, I'm partway through my first lap. I'm going through the parking lot by the food court, and sure enough, there he is, making his way halfway across the parking lot exactly as I suspected. Now it's winter, so I speed up to him, e-brake in front of him, blocking his escape. I approach him, and he's already cowering with my money. I'm sorry. Take my money, go to the passenger side of my car, open the door, grab the box, throw it at his head. Hits him, yard sales all over the parking lot. And I'm yelling at this guy, right? Just lacing into him. So at this point, like, my car's there at an awkward angle, both doors open, stuff all over the ground. I'm yelling at this kid. It's a bit of a scene. And I see more cops start to pull up, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I got my money back. That's fine. I'm just going to leave now. So I leave. The next day, I'm sitting in my office thinking about the whole thing, and I realize my mistake. I gave him the box back. I just enabled this kid to try it again, to screw someone else over. So I hop on Kijiji, and sure enough, there's another ad by this guy selling the exact same thing, except this time there's a little disclaimer at the bottom saying box has minor damage in the corner, which I had to chuckle at a little bit because that was from me throwing it at his head. So I thought, well, why don't I create a fake alias and message this guy and see if I can meet up with him again. Now, a little bit of thought went into this. So I wanted to appear as non-threatening as possible. With all you can see is my email address. So I wanted to appear non-threatening, potentially female, maybe a little bit older. So I created the email address ilikecats1991@hotmail.com. I created a fake Kijiji account with this. And I messaged him. And sure enough, he bit. He wants to meet up. Okay, what do I do now? How do I resolve this? Do I meet up with them and punch him in the face? That would negate my morals. That's not a great idea. Do I just want to get charged with assault? What do I do? I was like, well, what's the ultimate punishment for this guy? How about getting him arrested, getting him charged with fraud? Screw this guy. That would be the worst thing that could happen to him, I think. So at lunchtime, there's a police station right across the street from my work. So I go over there. I tell the guy the whole thing. He has me write it all down on this big form. So I wrote down the whole story, every detail. I gave the login information for the email address and the Kijiji account. I said, here, the guy's messaging me right now. He wants to meet up. How would you guys go meet up with them and arrest him, right? So the guy at the desk got a real kick out of this. He loved the story. So he said, here, wait here a minute. So I did. And after a little while, a bunch of plainclothes officers came and they pulled me to a back room. And these guys were all undercover, and they met with me. And so the first thing they said when they walked into the room was, why didn't you just punch him? No word of a lie. And I said, well, I don't want to be sitting on the other end of this conversation, right? And they're like, we wouldn't have done anything. Like, you'd be doing our job for us. So now I know if someone's trying to screw you over, you can punch them in the face in the car. So they're going over the story on the paper, and they get to the email address, and they're like, I like pussy, I like it. So I like, actually, I was just trying to look unthreatening, but okay. That was really funny. So one thing came to, so they said they'd email him, they'd meet up with them, and over the coming days, I kept logging into the email address because I wanted to get updated. I wanted to see what happened. And ultimately, there was some scheduling difficulties on the police officer's end of things, something about a daughter's dance recital, and the guy got spooked and he left, and he probably screwed someone else over. So that didn't end quite as I was hoping, but the moral of the story is always verify your contents when meeting someone on Kijiji. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. And thank you, Ed, for, I have to say, that was a very surprisingly interesting and very funny speech for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience in Toastmasters. I particularly enjoyed it. I have some comments about improving it a little bit, but I thought overall it was very well done. And you're already showing, I think, a very advanced level of speaking ability, which is good for the club and I guess good for you as well, but probably looking to hone that down and improve it here and there. You opened up with probably the most bizarre opening I think I've ever seen, where you said it was about cats, undercover police officers, and a high-speed chase. And I honestly had no idea where the speech was going to go after that. It was zany enough that it gave a little bit of insight into what was happening. I like that you did it that way, as opposed to saying, first I'm going to talk about this, I was buying something, and then we went to the mall, and then I had some interactions. Like, because the way you put it, it was like a cliffhanger, where you gave everything up front, bits and pieces, made it exciting, but then didn't say anything. So it was a good start. You have a great delivery for those type of speeches, whether or not you understand that or not. You seem to have a natural understanding of where to pause, where to add interesting gestures, where to add some excitement to it. And you were feeding off the crowd already. So when we were all laughing, you didn't just keep plowing through. You actually stopped and you laughed a little bit, which it's always debatable. People have different opinions on whether or not you should laugh at your own speeches and laugh at your own jokes. But I think the way you did it was really casual. But you gave people a chance to take in the joke, finish laughing, and then go to another part. Some people just motor through and you don't actually let the laughter resolve, and then people miss what you're saying in the next part. So you really had a good understanding of that. The voices too were good, or the gestures. So when you were talking about chasing the guy through the mall, then you were actually doing like the Running Man dance, and then the cop voices too. You had a lot of the color for that, as well as your story tended to fit really well together. So it was chronological order. You had enough comments in the back part that it wasn't too much, I felt. So nothing ever bogged the story down. And then it had a nice way to resolve at the end. As far as the points of improvement would go, I'd say watch the language a little bit. It's pretty casual here, honestly. We're all experienced Toastmasters. If you're going to drop F-bombs, and probably not something that you would want to do at work a lot. I guess it depends on your job, but it's also something to watch too. The more you get in the habit of making that casual, you'll just drop one maybe where a place where you shouldn't, like at a wedding, or don't drop F-bombs at your wedding. You're doing wedding speeches. So just keep in mind, like just try and restrain a little bit. It's a bit more formal. As well as your delivery is very casual. So for a speech like that, it works well. You need to think about too when not to be so casual, but when to be a bit more formal. So you had some slang as well, so it kind of fits in with the whole casual theme. So it fits the speech, but maybe not appropriate for other speeches. The one thing I thought that you could work on a bit more was the ending. So I thought that your ending was the flattest part of the whole speech. It was kind of really exciting and really interesting, but then when you got to the ending, it was sort of like, and then nothing really happened. So, moral of the story is blah, blah, blah. It'd be nice if actually, even if something didn't happen at the end, to twist it into something. Like, because it's a story and it's your account, you can always add a bit more stuff that didn't happen. So maybe the cops found him and then they got in some big chase again, or you can add something like that to exaggerate it a little bit, which makes it more exciting and also fits a bit whether or not it happened. Just a thought, right? Not everybody has to tell the truth all the time. But, probably should tell the cops the truth, but, but not in Toastmasters. Yeah, there's lots of people that make their whole Toastmasters career on BS. Darren's not here, is he? Anyway, overall, I thought I really enjoyed the speech. It was very entertaining. You have advanced speaking skills, I can already see. And just keep working on, again, knowing maybe a bit more when to pull it back and be a bit more restrained, and let loose a little bit more with the language. And then keep your endings, and try and keep the story as entertaining or as consistent all the way through. That's what I'd say. Good job, and I'm looking forward to your next speech if they're like that. I thought it was really funny.